Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News. I had the pleasure to be joined by Conor Benn down the Matchroom gym. Conor, how was your New Year's, mate?
Yeah, it was good, mate. It was nice. It was a quiet one with the family, so it was it was beautiful, man. How was yours?
It was very good, mate. And can I say congratulations as well? Expecting another baby on the way, mate. So congratulations as well. Yeah, it's a bit crazy. Obviously, we've been trying to set up this interview, obviously with yourself for about a couple of weeks now. Obviously, you were sparring last week. But obviously you're in camp now. I think you're sparring Conor Walker today. How has camp gone for your fight on Feb 3 against Peter Dobson?
Yeah, it's going good, man. I mean, camp's camp. It's routine, it's structure, it's, the daily habits that it's just what I do, do you know what I mean? So, just going through the camp, man, going through the motions, working, learning, growing every single day.
Definitely, mate, and obviously I've watched you in here in full flow, and it's a great sight to see as well, mate. Before we get on to that fight with Peter Dobson, obviously you were back out this year after a long 18 months against Orozco. I mean, how did it feel to be back in the ring, obviously doing the full 10 rounds against a solid opponent in Orozco?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't done 10 rounds for about 2 years, so it was good to just get back out there, to be honest. It was more, for me, it was more mental. It was, more of, let's face the demons, and apart from that, I was just excited to be back in there, doing what I love, doing what I'm born to do.
Definitely, and you proved it on the night, mate. I think you could hit Orozco with a baseball bat and he wouldn't have gone down that night as well, mate. But obviously, like you said, the mental preparations, obviously you hit him with everything you had. Do you think that was the perfect fight to put you in good stead for a good 2024?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he was a big guy, he was a strong guy, he was, he's fighting for his life in there, so he come and he brought everything he had. It weren't enough. I felt comfortable in there, not disheartened at all. I'm a fighter. It's what I do. If it goes, 2 rounds, 12 rounds, I'm built for 12. I'm built for 15. So if it needs to go that far, then that's no problem. But if I see the shot, I'm always going to take it. If I see an opening, I will take it. And I took it, and he managed to stand up to the shots. So. Credit to him, man.
Definitely, and also what I will say, obviously, I won't touch on it too much, but obviously the last 18 months have been very difficult for yourself. Obviously, I remember coming in here for the first time. I think I interviewed your dad and George Liddard that day, and I remember asking you like, "Oh, you're right, mate," and you were like, "Yeah, I'm all good," and I went, "No, are you okay?" And you looked a bit like shocked to kind of that I'd asked you that question. I mean, from the last 18 months, what would you say the one thing that you've learned, not maybe about yourself or about kind of the industry, would be?
That strong men break. It's probably what I've learned. I'd probably say, yeah, I was broken. I was a broken man. But someone close to me said, in 6 months' time, it won't be as bad as it seems. For me, it was taking each day at a time. So when you ask me, how are you? It's a generic, are you right? Yeah, I'm right, I'm good. Not how are you? And it's, I guess you try and just cope, survive, get through. And for me, it's taught me resilience and strength. It's brought me closer to my family. It's changed me as a man. There's a lot of things, a lot of positives I take away from it. Acceptance of what is, and just being able to have closure with that and moving on, which I'm doing, but it's trauma. It's traumatic, the whole feeling. It's the worst thing that can happen to anyone. So for me, it's just growing, working through it, learning, staying disciplined, staying in the gym, training when I don't want to train, because I ain't been motivated throughout this whole period. In fact, demotivated. But no matter what you go through in life, in 6 months' time, it won't be as bad as it seems. In 6 months' time, you'll be in a better place. In 6 months' time, you see the resilience and strength that you've built up, the courage, the discipline, the mindset. You become invincible.
You definitely do, mate. And obviously, I've been training down here. I'm a big fan of Tony's Saturday sessions as well. I know how important they are to me. Obviously, you've got obviously the whole team in here, but you've got a mindset coach in Greg Meehan as well. I mean, how important have the likes of Tony Sims been, Greg Meehan been, kind of getting you through and obviously keeping that mindset so you are motivated and you do come into the gym and you do train to the best of your ability?
I'll probably say I'm quite strong-willed anyway. But Greg, I speak to Greg almost every day. I speak to Tony almost every. I speak to Greg almost pretty much every day, and Tony as well. for me, it's not about anyone else making me disciplined or anyone else motivating me, because I feel like my kids and my family's enough to keep me disciplined, keep me motivated. This isn't what they need. If no one's going to do it, if I ain't going to do it, no one's going to do it. You know, so I just stay disciplined and I have faith that what's meant to be will be, and what's for me won't pass me, and ultimately that's it, really, man.
Definitely, and obviously you've got through that tricky period, and obviously you've got that Orozco win out of the way, and now you're back out February 3, headlining once again in Las Vegas. I mean, against Peter Dobson. I mean, what do you know about Peter Dobson, and why was this the right fight for you on February 3?
If it was a fight, so it was a fight that was offered, so that's perfect, no problem, let's go. Like, you know, there is no maybe or no, like, yeah, sweet, no problem. You know, I stay ready, I stay active. With Orozco, I only had 2 weeks. I only knew about 2 weeks before the fight that I was fighting. You know, so it's good to have at least, you know, a 6-7 week camp where, 6-7 week camp. I've been in camp preparing for December, ideally. You know, now it's February. But yeah, I mean, a man's a man. You know, whether they talk shit, whether they come to fight, come to move. A fight's a fight ultimately. There's a man in the other corner, and that's all that matters to me.
Definitely, obviously you're staying active. Obviously September, February, and then potentially a big fight. Kind of, Charlie Sims said to me that you wanted to go in April or May as well. Is that activity kind of a big part of your 2024 going forward? Yeah,
definitely. Make up for lost time. I mean, it's mad because I'm still only 27, but I feel like I've been in the game for a very long time. But I'm only 27 years old, so maybe the year and a half out has done me good. I've stayed in the gym. I've been able to work and grow and just develop, man. So I use the time wisely, you know, whereas most fighters would have fallen off. Don't get me wrong, I fell off for a few months, and then, you know, I just stopped feeling sorry for myself, and, you know, got to get up and do what you got to do. Like, that's it, period. Like, you know, and that was it. You know, I fell off a couple months and then straight back on it, learning. All right, let me, as much as it's going to be so hard to use my head and stay disciplined and stay focused when I'm getting this thrown at me, that thrown at me, this thrown at me, just stay the course. Stay the course always.
Definitely, obviously, and you're out on February the 3rd, but obviously, and Charlie Sims mentioned to me that April-May fight, that's going to be the fight that kind of you want to be your big fight of 2024, obviously, and then push on from there. Obviously, we had the Eubank fallout in December. I do want to get onto that, but obviously the names that Charlie Sims mentioned to me, Devin Haney, Jaron Ennis, Mario Barrios and Kell Brook. I mean, are they all the names that are kind of on the top of your hit list, maybe?
Not really Kell Brook, no, but the rest, yeah.
Perfect. What entices you? Obviously, Devin Haney would be moving up. Obviously, Ennis has that world title. Barrios has that mandatory status, that interim world title status. Is that what you want in 2024? Conor Benn becomes world champion.
Yeah, and it's there for me to become world champion. So, you know, it is only a matter of time before that happens.
Definitely, I do want to touch on kind of the Eubank kind of fallout. Obviously, we've just touched on kind of you kind of dealing with kind of outside things, kind of disrupting your career as well. But kind of the Eubank fallout was obviously a massive thing as well. How was that kind of whole period for you?
I just told the team to not waste their time, you know, and let's get another fight locked in, which we've now done. You know, and that was it. You know, he wants to mess around. He don't really want the fight. That's no problem, you know. So it was not an issue on my end, you know. So Feb 3rd, I was going regardless. Not against the ideal opponent we all wanted, but not every fight in my career is going to be the ideal opponent everyone wants, you know. So, you know, just excited to be out and thankful for all the supporters who are travelling to Vegas to come see me fight, man.
Definitely, and I think there's a massive. Eddie's already said there's a massive Essex contingent going out there. I don't want to kind of spoil the party for some of the fighters that are in the room that potentially are on the card as well. But for that kind of April-May date, would Josh Kelly would that potentially be a fight that would interest you? Obviously, he's got that WBO #1 as well.
Not really. I mean, there's not really much. Just not really much in it at the moment. There's bigger fights there for me. You know, when you're talking the Haneys, the Boots, the Barrios, the Eubanks, the name don't really fit into them sort of names, you know. So I think he's just got to build himself back up and keep winning and doing what he's doing. You know, I don't feel like if I was in his position, I don't feel like a fight with me or Chris would be chased. I'd be chasing the world title. You know, unfortunately, he puts his name in the mix, but his name ain't in the mix. You know, like, can't just, like, no one wants to see it, apart from his family or, you know, people of Sunderland want to see it. But apart from Sunderland, is it? Yeah. Apart from that, there ain't really much interest in it. There's a couple other fighters calling me out. It's don't appeal to nobody.
On about kind of making that kind of the biggest and best fight for you possibly next as well. But I do want to kind of move away kind of the potential opponents. I do want to move on kind of something that a lot of fighters don't do till the end of their career. But that's obviously kind of supporting your stablemates, obviously, whether it be financially or sponsorship and things like that. It's what you help sponsor MaiseyRose as well, which is a campmate of yours as well. Kind of why is it so important for you to do this? Obviously, you're only 27, so early on in your career as well.
Because I know how much sponsors help. Do you know what I mean? I know how much it makes a difference. And when you see young fighters who have to get up, you know, at 5:30, get the train from London to Brentwood to train and work hard, I'll do my part. And you know, she's extremely dedicated. She's got an amazing story, and you know, I got a lot of love for me. So for me, it's, even though I haven't been in the greatest position myself over the past 18 months, I know how much it helps Maise. You know, so for me, it's just I feel like it's a nice thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Not that I get anything out of it, it's just a nice thing to do. You know, I don't do it for clout or anything apart from just seeing a young fighter prosper, grow, and reap the benefits of training as hard as she does.
Definitely, and can we say Boxing News' Female Prospect of the Year as well? Shout out to MaiseyRose as well. But obviously, there's a lot of kind of a lot of I don't want to say this. You're maybe one of the senior kind of statesmen in the gym. Sorry, mate. And I know you're only a year older than me, which is mad to say. But kind of obviously you've got George Liddard, Jimmy Sains, MaiseyRose. Kind of how good. Obviously, you see them every single day, but how good can those three be in the professional ranks?
Yeah, they're good fighters. They're strong, both very capable of achieving a lot in the sport. You know, George is just, you know, he's all right. No, they're all strong fighters, you know, and they all keep up with the training. There's been so many fighters. Tony's had to just go, I'm not cut out for this, you know, and you know, they've proven, you know, that they work hard. They're diligent with their training. They don't cut corners, and you know, they push themselves and they keep up, and they, you know, they're strong fighters. They can both punch as well.
They definitely can, and keep an eye out for those three this year. Strong start to 2024 for those guys as well. And my final one, Conor, thank you again for giving me your time today, mate. I think with this question, your dad gave me one of the best answers for this question, and I feel like your dad's had such kind of an up and down career as well. But when all's said and done, what does boxing mean to you?
It's my life, man. Not for the world titles or for the money, but it's just me. I am boxing, you know, and I feel like I didn't choose this life. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it really chose me, and being in the ring, it says a lot about you as a man. You find out about yourself. You find out who is Conor Benn. You know, and I feel like in that ring, you find out who you are, what you're made of, and you know, whether you have that substance that many don't have. And it's just such an honest sport. You know, you can't hide in it. You're on your own. It shows whether you've done the work. It shows whether you've stayed dedicated, whether you're in the right frame. It says a lot about you as a man, and it's taught me a lot, this sport, about who I am and my identity. And for me, boxing's everything.
Definitely, that is the perfect place to end. Conor Benn, thank you very much for your time today, mate, and best of luck February the 3rd.
Okay.
Cheers, mate.